Take me out to Sonic Spinball, everybody. It's Deep Dive Zone, the Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. And we're back with more Sonic X. Well, it's the baseball episode.
It is.
Yep.
This is episode 10. It's called Fierce Fight Sonic Baseball Team, or Unfair Ball, which sounds like it's trying to be a pun, but it's not a pun.
No, it's just an accurate description.
Yeah.
When Tails follows a signal to an abandoned stadium, Eggman takes this as an opportunity to challenge the heroes to a baseball game with a Chaos Emerald as prize. This is a better baseball episode than the one in Dragon Ball Super.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen that episode.
It's okay, but this one is funnier.
I'll take your word on it, because this was a pretty fun episode.
We talked last time about how if you're going to do a wacky, silly episode, you may as well go all in and definitely include Eggman, and this is that episode.
Yeah, it's kind of it's interesting that it came almost immediately after we said that.
Yeah. Speaking of Dragon Ball, Tails is learning the hard way, essentially. The Chaos Emeralds get drawn to each other, and something that they lift from Dragon Ball's anime, it's never in the manga, but something in Dragon Ball's anime is that the magic gemstones glow when they get close. So you can actually track them with that.
Huh.
A little bit.
Tails is initially impressed at how well the plane is flying with the new Chaos Emerald. That's the power source. It's really funny. He's like, this has got to be the smoothest flight I've ever been on. As if the show is quite aware of Tails' track record.
Ooh.
With Chaos Emerald power
Ooh.
planes. I guess that's the Chuck difference, maybe?
Sure.
I suppose so, yeah.
But yeah, so the Emerald draws the X-Tornado to this empty baseball stadium, and we make friends with the groundskeeper, whose name is Albert?
Alfred.
Alfred. Call him Al, I guess. Okay, his name is Alfred in Japanese, but Albert in English. Why would you make it like that? But it is his last day of work, because the stadium is going to be demolished.
Oh well.
I do have a question. Why is there a baseball tee in the middle of a forest?
I don't think
Maybe
the
that's
stadium's
part
in
of
the
why
middle of
it was going to be demolished.
It sure looks like it's in the middle of the forest.
I don't know. When Knuckles looks over it and sees sort of the beacon coming out, it looks like it's more in the city, at least.
I think in the initial scene in the beginning of the episode, it's like in the middle of nowhere.
All right, well, yeah, maybe that's why they're destroying it. It's too out of the way.
Yeah.
But yes, as previously mentioned, holding the Chaos Emeralds together has this, crazy reaction, which we've seen a little bit of, but it shoots a giant beacon into the sky.
Right. Which,
Guess so.
I guess, why not?
I'm pretty sure this is the only time in the show that it does that, but okay.
Plot. The plot.
I guess. It gets everybody's attention.
It does.
Including Eggman, of course. We're not there quite yet. We have this weird thing where, like, they're sitting at the dinner table eating, and like, oh, Sonic, your manners are so bad. Which I guess does track for the character.
Yeah,
Before that, we do see Eggman's reaction.
We do see
Emerald,
Eggman's reaction,
which is instantly to be like, "Oh, time for baseball," because why not?
I do want to know, why does Eggman have, like, a baseball mitt and stuff?
Maybe it's just, a hobby. We had that one Archie comic where Snively was, like, really excited to play hockey, and he was like, no, I just wanted to have fun.
That's right, yeah.
I forgot all about that one.
Yeah, maybe it is then.
That's one of the best stories Penders ever wrote.
God, that was Penders, and you were totally right.
Anyway, so, yes, Eggman does see this, and that's why, after the table manners scene, Bokun shows up. It's funny, he shows up, and then Tanaka is like, that's bad manners.
But on the screen, of course, there is Eggman, and he is like, "Hey guys, Chaos Emeralds, right here. Let's play baseball for them." And then he has a baseball getup, and I love that.
Yeah, and this is funny because like Eggman would probably have an easier time getting the emerald. He just went there now and stole it from the old guy, but.
Yeah,
100%.
That is
a very
also
conscious decision.
Yeah, and that's not what Eggman would do.
No, I mean, one of the best lines in Sonic Unleashed is when Eggman said, "What's the point of being an evil genius if you never face any challenge?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, there's no self-destruction message. It's this robot will hit 1,000 balls, and then Ella throws him out the window.
Right.
And I It pisses me off because she does that, and then Chuck's like, "Hey, you should help in our game against Eggman," and then they don't bring her. Cowards.
I don't get that. They even make a joke about it. And it's like, yeah, she should.
She's gonna be more athletic than the 12-year-old, I bet.
Probably. The throwing arm like that, she's probably played.
What's the point in playing a baseball game against Eggman if they're just going to win instantly?
It's funny, Eggman won't let them win.
So they go to the baseball stadium, and I say, why didn't Eggman just take the emerald? He does do that, but he just he agrees to the game. And I want to note here that when Alfred is holding the emerald, it takes up most of his hand. When Eggman grabs it, it's like barely in his palm. How big are this motherfucker's hands?
Art inconsistency, isn't it lovely?
Yeah, I think we've established at this point that Eggman, at least in this show, is fucking enormous.
He's not a normal-sized human, certainly.
No, he clearly isn't.
I would like to point out that actually Eggman only takes the emerald after he's like, all right, let's play baseball. And Tails is like, what? No. and he's like, okay, fine, then I'll just take it.
Yeah, it's the wager. It's you might be able to get the emerald if you play baseball with me. Not he's throwing up his own credibility is on the line here because he's got to do it. Which is funny, of course, because the baseball hijinks are going to involve a lot of questionable attention to the rules, of course.
Of course.
As to be expected.
Sonic and the rest show up. Knuckles gets here. I guess, I mean, he saw before, but it's like, it's funny that they barely even react to him. It's just like, oh, hey, Knuckles, I guess you're here.
I mean, they have to convince him later to join and help them.
He is one of the only people that is like, no, that's a stupid idea, and they're like, come on, Knuckles, be a team player.
They call him cringe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of true. Like I said, Tails initially refused, and I don't remember, someone is like, it's a bad idea to play baseball against Eggman. And it's actually Chuck who sways everyone over. He's like, yeah, oh, Chuck's heck yeah, let's play some baseball.
About it for some reason. Knuckles is the only one. He's using his noggin, and everyone makes fun of him for it. For once in his life.
Yeah, this is actually a major trend in Sonic X, is that Knuckles will have any opinion contrary to it, and then the heroes will like try to bully him for it. But anywho, we got E21s here as the robot baseball team. They're robot guys, I guess.
I have in my notes that they're called Balios. I don't know where I got that from, though.
It says it on the commercial iChat card, I think.
I skipped that when I was rewatching the episode.
Lauren, do they have a dub name that you remember?
I don't remember if they're even called anything.
All right. So yeah, we start the game, and like we said, it's baseball hijinks. We get Tails getting duped by the robot's like extendo arm. Chris sucking. He just instantly gets 3 strikes.
I mean, what are we expecting the 12-year-old to do?
Listen, I'm not athletic at all. If you asked me to hit a baseball, it would take me at least like 9 or 10 or 11 swings.
I mean, to be honest, hitting a baseball, I don't even think is that athletic. It's just about timing, mostly.
Well, I'm also not coordinated in that regard.
Okay, well, there you go.
I'm good at Sonic games, that's it.
There you go.
I like Amy at the bat when she hits the ball and it just destroys the robot.
Yeah, there's lots of rule bending around here, but nobody seems to really care, actually.
Hey, it's all about having fun.
Well, isn't there another point where like one of the robots throws another robot at her or something like that?
Something like that. I think they throw the robot to catch the ball.
Yeah. I do like Knuckles, who's like, he vows to like only hit home runs, and he does.
Yeah, when he puts his mind to something, he will accomplish it.
Oh yeah, of course.
One thing that's odd in here, I've mentioned that this show had way more fourth wall breaks than I remember, and at one point, one of the robots hits a home run, but Sonic runs up to the top of the stadium and catches it, and Chuck is like, I'm sorry, Sonic, it doesn't work that way, and Sonic says, why do we have to play by the rules? This is an anime.
They're self-aware.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that got cut out of the dub. I feel like he says something else in the dub.
I would assume.
I don't recall that line, but I don't recall what he says.
I think part of the reason that I didn't remember there being so many fourth wall breaks is I do think the dub smooths over some of them. But yeah, it's fun. I like watching Knuckles be smug. But the closest thing to an arc in massive sarcasm quotes that any of these characters have is Chris. Just he lacks the confidence to be able to swing for the ball and hit
Hmm.
it, but Sonic gives him a little pep talk to get him to actually properly try, and then he still misses, but the catcher fumbles the ball, so he gets a run.
Yeah, Eggman's robots as pitchers are pretty. They have it together for the most part. The first time they actually fumble anything is against Cream and Cheese, of course, which it's framed as if like they get nervous or something, but it's obviously because they are afraid, very afraid.
Of
Probably,
cream and
yeah.
cheese, yeah.
Yes.
It's weird because, like, okay, the joke with Cheese is that he's so short that they try to throw the ball, but it goes too far over him. Um, but then the joke with Cream, I guess, is that she acts cutesy.
That's what the joke seems like.
It's odd.
Yeah.
But all of this is, it's fun, it's wacky. But Eggman eventually he gets annoyed enough that he's like, "All right, I'm activating my trap card." So he attaches one of the robots to Sonic's head and sets it to explode, and then Knuckles gets it off. So what's that big a deal?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't really fully understand what the plan was there.
Well, I feel like Eggman didn't really have a plan.
No, he's just like, I'm just
He
gonna,
was like,
you know,
he's like, this isn't going well. Let's just do something to throw them through the loop,
right.
and then act like I won.
Well,
Because
and that's the
after that,
thing is that all this happens, and Eggman is basically losing, and so he does this, and then is like, "Oh, that didn't work. All right, I'm just running away." And yeah, I never make a deal with Eggman. It's such a
Yeah.
consistent theme in all Sonic media that anytime
Mm-hmm.
you make an agreement with Eggman, he will betray you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty obvious, yeah.
It's
Um,
not that I'm surprised. I'm mostly just surprised at how consistently that happens. Because it's like it's not something that really happens all that much in the games, you know?
No, it's other Sonic media this happens in.
Because I'm thinking like Colors is the only Sonic game I can think of where Eggman's like, "Oh, I've reformed."
Yeah.
this might be a dub goof, but the characters are like, oh wow, now Eggman has both the Chaos Emeralds multiple times, which is not true. He only got one Chaos Emerald.
But does he have two at this point? He took this one as this is his second one, or is this the first one he's gotten?
I thought it was the first
I
one.
think this is the first one you
I
got.
guess I don't remember him getting any others. So yeah, that's weird. I
Yeah.
don't think they say that in the sub. So yeah, that might be a mistake.
Hmm.
But the ending here is that, this wacky farce of a game has garnered so much attention that a crowd has gathered to watch and single-handedly repopularized the stadium.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah. And star baseball player, the star player, this guy, Emmer Johnson, Elmer Emmer. What does the dub call this guy?
I didn't care enough to remember. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm guessing the dub probably calls him Elmer because it's very weird because his name is definitely written as Emmer, but you could
Yeah.
probably say that that's how it's supposed to be spelled. English names in Japanese are hard, and only if you don't speak Japanese, which I don't. So I'm just stupid. Uh, but he's here and he gives Alfred Albert whatever his name is the good news that the stadium won't be demolished now because this game was too exciting.
Yay.
Hmm.
You guys know that every game they play is not going to be like this one.
No.
I feel like they just didn't know the stadium existed because it was away in a forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally, now that people know the address, this place will be successful.
Exactly.
So no idea what's up with that ending, but this episode is clearly not interested in anything but being fun, and it's fun.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
fun
not too
enough.
bad.
Yeah.
So good on you. I don't know if I have a more complicated conclusion than that, but
I don't think there is a more complicated conclusion.
It's not a complicated episode.
Exactly.
well, let's move on to something. I guess it's not really something different. Episode 11. Man, I'm so good at segues and transitions. Episode 11.
I know.
The beautiful, mysterious thief Rouge, or a fly spy in the dub. Gun sends Sonic and friends on a wild goose chase for a Chaos Emerald that doesn't exist to bait them into helping fight Eggman. However, the plan catches the attention of Jewel Thief Rouge the Bat instead. Yeah, she was in the first episode and none of the other ones up until this point.
Yeah, she just reappears.
I guess she was just laying low?
Well, she's been. So they mentioned later in the episode she's responsible for a string of gem heists from museums and stuff.
Yeah, that's the idea. She's just been
So she's been laying exactly. She's been laying low, stealing shit.
I guess going out only at night and maybe because I'm thinking less about like where has she been and more like how has she been surviving, stealing food too, I guess. Because Rouge strikes me as someone that like has a certain taste, a certain standard for like accommodations. So like she
sure.
can't just be like sleeping on rooftops like Sonic. So she has to be like sneaking into like a band like hotels or something maybe. I don't know.
Obviously,
she probably could. Wouldn't be hard for her.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, this opening shows exactly what kind of crazy shit she can pull off. Because we start with this highly secure building with a diamond jewel of some sort inside, and her heist here is kind of ridiculous.
Oh, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
but she does have a little help from the treasure scope from SA2, which I very appreciate.
Oh yeah, we don't get any Knuckles sunglasses in this show. We do get the treasure scope.
Hard, that's horrible.
Well, and she cuts the glass case with her foot, so maybe that's the pick nails from SA2 as well. I don't know.
Maybe.
You know, Rouge was a pretty new character at the time this show was made, so maybe they really felt the need to show off her abilities.
Probably.
And security is like, all right, well, they finally after a certain amount of time notice that she's stealing the jewel. She has a printed calling card to leave behind.
That is funny, but it seems about right.
It's about right. I just want to know where'd she get it from. Like, how did she print it?
She just carries them around.
I'm wondering, like, did she bring these from like their planet, or did she make these here? You know, is the hotel whose rent she's stealing also got an office in it, or is she gonna laminate these?
I don't understand a whole lot about Rouge's character. Like, in Sonic Battle, she had, like, a club or something.
Right.
Who knows what she is up to when she isn't working for the government and stealing jewels?
That is a good question.
Really up to anyone's speculation. Although I really do have to ask, why is there a crane here? Did she steal a crane, too?
Yeah, what's going on with the crane?
Yeah, this is how she got in and out, is that she lifted the entire roof off the building with a crane.
Jesus Christ.
Where she attached the crane to the roof, and then like used her boots to cut the entire roof off.
I guess.
Is that how it worked?
I don't know. Because I'm assuming this is not just a building with a natural breakaway roof. I don't think there's a lot of buildings like that because they're going to collapse in on you.
Well, I mean, okay, this could almost make sense if it was in the process of being built.
And you're housing a valuable diamond in there?
Exactly. The diamond wouldn't be there if it was being built. So
yeah, it completely.
I don't know.
It is completely out of left field. I don't get it. And yeah, Rouge is not someone. It's weird to imagine what the day-to-day life of Rouge is if she's pulling off heists like this. Like, because if she's doing that regularly, there's literally not enough gems for it to be every day.
No, she's got to be like. Well, and here's the thing: she doesn't pawn them off as well. She just likes shiny rocks.
Yeah, I don't know what she does with these. Does she have a stash?
I assume, as far as we know, Rouge is just like a crow.
Like, this is where it gets weird, because, like, Sonic, it makes sense, because he doesn't have a home. He's not going to have worldly possessions for the most part.
Yeah,
but other characters do, you know?
Right.
In the games, Amy has an apartment. Tails has both his house and his workshop. Knuckles has Angel Island. All of that. No idea what Rouge's deal is, at least before she's working for Gun. But yes, so that's our cold open. In the midst of this, in the rest of this, we cut back to the mansion. Amy brought pizza. I want pizza.
I mean, you can get pizza.
No, we're recording right now. We'll get it afterward.
Well,
but
okay, yeah.
Sorry, this is not a good bit.
Are any of our bits good?
Not really, but Sonic, Chris, and Tails, they're busy hunting around. Sonic's spinning a baseball in reference to last episode, I guess. And after at least several weeks of terrorizing his country, Eggman has finally become a real target for the president and gun.
Took them long enough.
You gotta do things by the book, and that means that stopping evil people is delayed by a minimum of 7 months.
Hmm.
I'd say that's a topical joke, but it's just always true, unfortunately. Anyway, so they're hoping that they can get Sonic to cooperate with them.
Which seems odd to suddenly try to do.
Well, I mean, Sonic is strong, but we'll see exactly what their efforts bring them. I do like that they have the dismantled missile wrist robot from episode 3, and they're looking at it and examining it.
Right. Yeah, that's a nice touch.
But their plot here is to fake a Chaos Emerald location using Mr. Stewart.
Right.
Which is funny because Chris is just very conveniently painting a Chaos Emerald in class.
Well, we learn here that Chris has blabbed about Sonic to all of his friends. Which,
okay, well, to be fair, they were televised last week or last episode, whatever.
see, I wouldn't question it. I'd be like, "Oh, the secret's out." Except when Mr. Stewart walks over, he's like, "Oh, it's just a emerald."
Yeah,
And he's like,
yeah,
"What?
I
Emeralds
know.
aren't red." Like he's trying to hide it somehow. Like
Yeah, no, that's
that doesn't
true.
work.
This
No,
spy
I
is
don't.
the worst fucking liar.
He is kind of useless. He is kind of terrible.
Well, but he does lead Chris on to the theoretical location of an emerald. And he also leads Rouge on. So Rouge is outside looking at Chris, and she says she's trying to find Sonic. But it's weird because, like, you say, oh, they were televised last week. That's no reason to assume that, like, going to Chris will let you know exactly where Sonic is. But she makes that leap, and I guess it ends up being kind of correct.
I guess, yeah.
She hasn't been around. I guess she could have been watching the game last week, but
No reason. Why not?
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying
guess,
to
yeah,
think,
there's no
like,
reason why she couldn't.
I don't feel like Rouge should be the type to watch sports, though.
No, but she must have seen, or must have either seen or heard about the Chaos Emerald beacon.
I feel like Rouge would watch, like, prestige TV, but, like, really mediocre shows. One of
Rouge
those,
watches-
like, crime
Rouge
shows that gets
watches-
canceled after one season.
Nah, Rouge watches soap operas.
Maybe. Like, the only, like, I slap my hand and realize how perfect that is for characters' taste in TV in this universe was fucking Julie Sue watching old black and white horror movies. That was, like, surprisingly good of Fedras. What am I talking about? Right, okay. Sonic. Yeah, so
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
I guess the thing is that what this makes me think is that, like, Sonic and his friends are such an open secret at this point.
They are. I don't.
100%.
I'm convinced that Stewart is literally he's just lying that he not admitting that he knows they exist.
Well,
yeah,
obviously.
I mean, yeah, but
Well,
I mean,
as in like
Chris brings his buddy Danny to his house, introduces him to Amy and Tails, and he gets to fly in the plane with them.
Yes, let's bring another child with us.
And the only reason that I then excuse the fact that Chris still keeps this secret from his parents is that it does make sense that they wouldn't know because they're both airheads. But yeah, very strange dynamic at this point. I guess it's better for it to not be a secret because I never like that kind of secret keeping plot in shows.
No,
I agree, but it pretends like it is still.
Yeah, Sonic is not
weird.
the fucking fairy godparents.
It's an interesting equivalency.
But they're heading for the fake emerald location, and it's funny because there's just this sign that says factory on it and has an arrow, which Rouge conveniently changes to make them go the wrong way.
I have to bring this up at some point, but like every single scene with Rouge, when she shows up, it has a saxophone riff. The amount of saxophone riffs is excessive.
Yep, that's the 4Kids soundtrack for you. Now, the Japanese version has a lot of that too, but it has an actual theme for her with multiple parts.
Right.
It is overbearing in the dub, though. Anyway, so yeah, Rouge goes to the location herself, and well, it was a fake location, so she gets trapped by Gun. And yeah, here's Topaz.
Yeah.
When Rouge calls Topaz tough, they blush. Ship confirmed.
Well, so this is the thing. A lot of people ship Rouge and Topaz, and it's more than her just calling her tough. In the Japanese version, when she puts the handcuff on, she explicitly says, "Oh, you're pretty kinky, huh?" And all the other dudes like laugh at her, which is like, wow.
Oh wow, it's even more confirmed in the original version.
Well, so this is the annoying thing. It's sad for me because I have been
It's
seeing people ship
really
these characters
not.
for a very long time, and outside
It
of this
really,
scene,
there really isn't much.
eh, I wish there was more of it, honestly, because they do have a good dynamic.
They do,
Whether it's
yeah.
shipping or not, the way these two bicker, knowing that they will eventually be paired up on missions together, is good, and I would like more of it.
Sure.
But Rouge has playful, flirty dialogue with everybody, so maybe that's why I'm not like making as big a thing out of it.
Yeah.
No, it's very true, but it's a fun idea.
Yes. Which, for those keeping score, when we make fun of Elise in Sonic 06 coming up, it's not going to be because one is an animal person and the other is a human. It's just because Elise sucks.
True.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, so President Mike figures, hey, we got the wrong furry, but we can kill two birds with one stone by making the Master Thief into an asset against Eggman as punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a decent enough plan, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think it's incorporated very naturally.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what they were gonna do with Rouge, but it feels almost like something in the comics where it's like, okay, how can we write our premise to loop in with the games? I like it. I must note though, in this version, the government is explicitly corrupt because Rouge is like,
Oh,
wait a
that's
minute,
true.
do I
That
get to
is
keep
true.
the diamond? And the president is like, well,
Well,
maybe I forgot all about it.
in the Japanese version, they say something like, well, the crime was never solved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what he says.
Yeah.
I forgot
It's
the
just-
exact line, but wow, okay.
Yeah, I guess in the
Jesus
games
Christ.
they portray Gunn as overzealous and misguided, but the actual administration of the president itself is pretty straight-laced.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's just not that focused on in the games as well.
Right.
But yeah, President Mike here is willing to overlook a serious theft, or, well, okay, it's an expensive theft. I suppose it's not that serious. And
Yeah, I don't know. It's not super serious.
corruption in this administration will be a recurring thing. This is the first episode, I believe, that has the president's aide Jerome Wise in the background. He's the redheaded dude.
Yeah.
And he gets into all sorts of shit.
Oh, now I'm getting excited. This is gonna be good.
Oh, you'll love it, I promise. And, case in point, Gunn doesn't play nice either, because even as they are having Rouge work for them, they strap a bomb to her arm if she steps out of line.
I mean, they don't trust her, to be fair.
It's smart. It's intense, but you
Yeah.
have to when you've seen what Rouge could do.
Right.
I mean, even if I were getting, like, a criminal... Even if we were doing, like, a Suicide Squad thing, it still feels like... I feel like threatening to blow somebody up with a bomb that's attached to them is just generally wrong. I just feel like that's just not a moral good thing.
I mean,
Well, it
yeah,
didn't have to be a bomb. It could have been even just a tracking device or something. But it's Sonic show, so it has to up the ante.
No, I'm not. Yeah, it's cartoon. It's fine. So they launch something of an attack on Eggman's base, and Rouge is going to prove herself that she can lead this team until they just retreat.
Yeah, I mean you spoiled it.
Well, it's just not what happens is the problem. I don't know if I have much that I can say about it.
I mean, Eggman is not paying any attention. Like he doesn't expect anyone to storm his base, apparently. Which, yeah, I mean, fair enough. After seeing what happened when he went and attacked the city, yeah, they had to get help from someone from his world. But it's very funny because he just doesn't have any security cameras anywhere. Eventually, they just accidentally bump into one of Eggman's robots that makes a really annoying sound. Probably not in the original version, I'm guessing.
I know, it's pretty annoying.
I mean,
Okay.
it's an ultrasound blast attack. I don't know if it's the same between the dub and I haven't checked that, but it is loud and annoying.
Yeah.
It's like a crying child sound.
Yeah, it's actually kind of almost creepy.
and that's E70, I think.
I think so.
It's probably tough on the big old bat ears, but
Yeah.
there's other guard robots too, I believe, and I think they make him like
Yeah.
shoot each other. That's the thing, is that most of Gun is like, we want to retreat. It's Rouge specifically who wants to split off, and Topaz then goes with him.
Hmm. Yeah.
So when I said not a lot happens, I mostly meant not a lot happens to the other Gun guys.
Okay,
Right.
okay,
Right.
okay. Rouge's gambit here is to rip off the bracelet and have Topaz blow it up to destroy the robot, which, okay, why didn't you...
If she could already tear it off, why didn't she do it before?
like, does it really not have any anti-tamper measures? Like, surely that would set it off. Like, that's usually the way you
Yeah, I
make
don't know
that
why it
sort of
didn't just
thing.
explode when she cut it. Yeah. We also see Rouge's main thing in this show is that she has this like drill kick, which I guess is in SA2.
Yeah.
But it's like it's almost the only thing that she does as an attack.
Yeah.
Which I guess is not actually that weird now that I'm saying it, because most of her other attacks in the games are just regular kicks. And in 06, I guess she has like bombs that suck. So, but yeah, so they use the bracelet to destroy E70, and it's funny because they're running out of there, and Eggman comes in, and they're like, "Get out of the way!" He's like, "Oh, sorry." They just leave. Like he had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't.
Yeah, literally.
And yeah, they get other. It's weird because it's like this is the Rouge episode, but it ultimately results in little ventured, little gained. There's not really anything big that changes as a result.
No, this episode's really just we need an episode of Four Rouge.
Yeah, and I mean we end on the fact that Sonic and friends spent all fucking night looking for that emerald, and they just got completely forgotten by the episode until they wake up and are like, "Oh God, I got no sleep last night."
Mm.
I mean, sure, like, I see what you're talking about, but, I mean, this does bring Rouge into employment with the government. It does start to give us a little more information on some of the characters in the government. But, yeah, I mean, for like, the main cast, sure, like, not a whole lot happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm exaggerating a bit, and I was the one who was like, just because it doesn't have explicit plot progression doesn't mean it's filler. So maybe I'm being a bitch. It's not a terrible episode. It's
No,
alright.
it's not bad.
And Topaz is certainly one of the better humans in the show, probably because Gun serves as more of a real connection to the games and the action.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that one. And we're ending off here with episode 12, which is actually the first part of a two-parter. It is called Before the Attack on Eggman's Base in the Japanese version and Beating Eggman Part 1 in the dub. Chris and Tails track down an emerald in a cornfield at Tingaling Villa, wonderful name, and are pursued by Eggman. Gun attacks his base while he's gone. Sonic is bored.
I feel like we start with that a
Sonic.
lot.
A little bit, yeah. And, we actually start with Jerome Wise, who I was talking about last episode. He's given a press conference representing the president, and it's talking about resilience or strength or some shit in their fight against Eggman, I guess.
Well, before that, we get Barney again.
I don't want to fucking talk about Barney.
Hmm.
I figure we just bring him up real quick.
Shut up. Oh, sorry, I don't know, I'm being rude today. Eggman, of course, is not phased by Jerome's words at all. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Well, Chris is taking more of his friends on plane rides.
Yeah, they're just part of the team now, I guess.
Apparently, we have more children to take care of. Great.
But you forget he's got special goggles now from Mr. Stewart.
Which clearly are not suspicious.
They're stealing his browsing data.
Oh no!
Like, even more ridiculous than the fact that they pretend like Sonic's friends are still a secret is the fact that Chris hasn't caught on to the fact that Stewart is a spy.
True. I'm really surprised Chris hasn't caught on to that yet.
He's never shown doing anything other than spying on Chris.
Exactly. It's like, come on, bud.
But as the title implies, some of this spy work, somebody is being a good spy, and it's not Mr. Stewart. Gunn and President Mike are planning an assault on Eggman, mostly to cut off his power, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah.
And in this case, Wise shows up at Chris's house to ask for Sonic's help directly. And it's funny because Ella sure seems to think all of the characters here are meant to be kept secret and tosses him out, but it's like,
No,
no,
Ella just doesn't like him.
well, I mean, I don't either. He's
That's
a bit of a douchebag.
it's a really funny reading, actually. Just that it's not a secret, but Ella just doesn't like him.
Yeah, he's just a prick.
I don't want the feds here.
I'd like to point out for all the kids, if government agents show up at your door, don't splash them with water. It's not advisable.
Yeah, don't splash them with water. Do not actually talk to them.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't have a warrant, you don't have to. So
That is definitely true.
don't splash them with water. They'll definitely say that's assault, and they'll say you were selling crack out of your house or something. I don't know.
It's just funny that they just give up and leave.
Yeah, they're really pathetic. But that's probably better for a kids show.
Sure.
I don't want to see a woman of color brutalized on screen. Here is the point.
Oh well.
The Emerald Glow
Yeah.
leads Tails' gang to this cornfield, and hey, why were they not using that last episode? I feel like that could have helped them realize the Chaos Emerald they were looking for was bunk.
Yeah?
They never bring it up. Anyway, the X-Tornado has a walker mode just like the real tornado, except this doesn't look cool. The Cyclone looks cool, this looks stupid.
I still appreciate the reference.
Oh yeah, the reference is nice, but
It's just so big and chunky. The Cyclone feels very
Yeah.
personal to Tails.
I'm gonna be honest. The Walker always just looks like a plane that's been twisted up to me. Like it doesn't look
does.
natural at all. So neither one looks good in my opinion.
yeah, I kind of have to agree.
Fair enough. Still, though. I still think that the X-Tornado is too big overall. Anyway, Mr. Stewart has a communicator hidden in his car's gear shift, and I feel like that's a really roundabout thing as opposed to just having a phone in his car.
It's gotta be secret spy though.
Well, yeah, I mean, car phones just exist. So
Yeah,
granted,
and
so
I mean,
do cell phones.
This was 2002, 2003, I think, so it's like, it makes sense that they wouldn't be carrying out around cell phones, although there is an episode plot where they talk about cell phones, so I don't know.
I don't know. By early 2000s, I think cell phones were already ubiquitous enough.
I think it's here or there. Definitely you wouldn't see
Well,
people
for-
fiddling with them the way they do smartphones, but
No, but for a federal agent, I think he probably would have a smartphone. Or not
Maybe-
smartphone, he would have a cell phone.
maybe this is a more secure transmission. I don't know.
I mean, that's probably true.
Eggman is bored too, though. He's just like watching TV ads or something.
Yeah, he's watching the Home Shopping Network.
Yeah, but he overhears the transmission about the Emerald location, which is weird because apparently it's not fucking secure at all.
I thought that was on purpose.
Well, see,
I
this is
thought it
the
was a
thing.
lure.
This
Yeah,
is
I
the
thought it
thing,
was a
is
lure.
It is a
seems-
lure. I'm sure
it
it's a
seems
lure.
like-
Yeah,
it's
it's gotta be.
Well, so that's the thing, is that this is Gun's bait to get him away from the base, but it's
Right.
the real location of the Emerald, and 4 children.
Well, they don't know the children, or maybe they do. I don't know.
So I figured they thought, oh, what's the perfect bait? And the actual emerald. Like
What's the
this was
perfect
a
bait? What's the
gambit on their
children?
part. But I'm sure they thought that, you know, if it's actually there, that will delay him for longer, and even if he realizes that maybe something is going on, he'll still probably want to get the emerald anyway.
I suppose they would be willing
Yeah.
to sacrifice the Emerald if it meant they could destroy the base. I guess I'm more thinking about the child endangerment aspect.
I mean,
They don't
it
care
is-
about that. Remember how
It is the government.
remember how the
It is
the
good.
teacher attack didn't motivate them at all.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
They really are amoral, just like the games. But Eggman brings E35 along with him, and it's a giant chicken.
Yeah.
It's a chicken. It blows crazy amounts of wind, and I'm realizing, hey, chicken that blows crazy amounts of wind, that's Cluckoids in Mushroom Hill. So that's like a real badnik.
Holy shit.
It is. It's a shame they couldn't have used a more similar design.
Yeah, it's really it's too chunky, but it's all right.
Yeah.
We also see E11 make a brief reappearance as they're attacking the base, because only the robots are here to defend it, and Deco and Boko are just so competent and trustworthy all the time.
Yes.
It's crazy. It took until episode 12 for us to get a very tiny scratch and grounder like moment for these two characters.
They really don't have the prominence early on that any of Eggman's other robot minions have. They may as well not have been characters up to this point.
Yeah, kinda.
It's funny because, I think of, Scratch and Grounder and also Coconuts. And then I think of Deco and Boko and also Bokun. But Bokun has been the far more prominent robot of Eggman's.
Yeah.
So yeah, the robots are fighting back while Gunn is attacking the base. President Mike announces on TV that they're declaring Eggman a national enemy and attacking him. We get a lot of shots of airplanes and boats exploding. You'd think that SEGA would require it to be stated that none of those guys died, but they don't say that.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Well, I'm sure they were all fine. They got away in like lifeboats and stuff.
No,
Yeah,
the ship
probably.
didn't actually explode.
They were one of those non-lethal plane explosions.
Of course, yeah. It just stunned the plane.
Also, Knuckles is hiding inside a jet.
Because he's hiding inside like a missile or something.
Yeah, he's like in the chamber.
As far as I'm aware of how fighter jets work, that's not how that works, but okay.
Well, this is the first episode to end on a big cliffhanger because Tails, Amy, Chris, and what's this other girl's name? Francine,
something, I don't know.
I think it's Francis.
Something with an F.
They're all getting blasted by Cluckers, whatever it's called. And Eggman is just standing there. He's not going to get the emerald.
I mean...
Did they already retrieve the emerald?
No, they haven't yet.
No, they haven't yet.
Well, he just can't help but watch as his enemies get blown away. I mean,
I have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mr. Stewart tells Chuck where everyone is, Sonic sets out, and it's a cliffhanger. It's not an especially strong one. I guess you have a dangerous robot and you have a fight going on, but it's not like a big reveal moment, you know?
I agree. When I saw this was a two-parter, I was like, oh, heck yeah. Finally, the show is gonna, like, try to do something grand. Not really. At least so far. I mean, maybe in the second part it'll do something interesting. But
there'll be some stuff, but, well, we limited ourselves to 3 episodes of video, and that's what ended up happening. That's where the line fell. But overall, this week was quite a bit better than last week, I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
There wasn't an inherently bad episode this week.
No, we had movement in one, spotlight for Rouge in another that I would say showed Rouge off relatively well. The crane thing is still a complete nonsensical moment.
I think it showed her action off well. I don't know about like anything else about her.
And then we had a funny episode with baseball, so it was...
The baseball was the highlight.
It gets a thumbs okay from me.
It gets a thumb.
Sideways thumb. Sideways, like, slightly angled up thumb.
No, it gets Schrodinger's thumb from me.
Just grow a 6th finger?
No, it's a thumb, but you don't know which way it's looking because it's in a box.
You got boxes on your hands?
Yeah, I do now.
You gonna have a shitty Tim Burton ripoff made out of you?
Okay.
Bruce box hands? This is a bad bit.
You're doing great, bud.
Listen, we have to be funny, or else we get accused of being those videos that just recap things instead of offering any kind of judgment on them.
Alright.
Lauren, be judgmental.
Okay. So the baseball one was somehow funny in an actually and kind of pretty entertaining way. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because the show isn't constantly trying to do that. But like, if I could totally, there was a sports episode in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was not nearly as good as this one. Higher quality, animation and all that definitely helps. But yeah, as far as the comedic episode, pretty good. I really liked the Rouge episode. Maybe it's just because it was finally taking it somewhere different, banning upon, like we said, Rouge showed up in the first episode and then didn't show up again until then. So like
it was focused. I think it had its priorities in order. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked it, and I'm intrigued at what we will see with Rouge and Topaz and the new spy team, I guess, in general. And the third one, honestly, I mean, like they're finally attacking Eggman. Cool, I guess. I don't know. It's just didn't capture me so much. It just doesn't have anything super unique about it. It
It
feels
feels like it
very
should
run of
have
the
higher
mill.
stakes for being the first big two-parter.
Yeah,
Because I mean, it's like by the end of the second episode, if it continues with this, it'll basically just feel like a regular episode that they for some reason made really long.
Yeah, basically.
yeah, pretty much.
But that is going to be it for tonight. Wow, less than an hour for this video. That's nice. We haven't
Damn,
had that in actual years, maybe.
probably.
Yeah.
But all that being said, that is going to be it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We certainly enjoyed making it. If you have any questions, comments, criticism, or feedback, you can find us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. And if you like this video, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my co-hosts for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a great rest of your night. And take care.